Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
It is springtime and spring greens have taken over. Your friends are suddenly experts on what's in season, grocery runs feel like scavenger hunts, and vegetables are now the main event. Why are we obsessing over these bitter leaves? Is it about the taste, health, nostalgia, or maybe just the vibes? Coming to you live from our studios in Beijing, this is Roundtable. I'm Steve. Thanks for sharing your time with us today. And for the show, I'm with Yushan and Yushun. First up, suddenly everyone around you is talking about what's in season or what's just been picked. But we're not talking about fashion. We're talking vegetables, those things that have the poetic taste of the earth. Your group chats are sounding like foraging communities, and a trip to the grocery store feels like a trip into the forest itself. Spring, of course, brings pollen and allergies, but it also brings something much nicer, spring greens. But what is it about this time of year that makes people so obsessed, is that the right word, with these fleeting, sometimes slightly bitter, sometimes slightly sweet, but always oddly fragrant greens? And how did something that used to grow so quietly in the wild turn into a full-blown lifestyle trend? Is it flavor? Is it health? Is it looking back on the past with poetically romantic memories? Or maybe just a combination of everything? It's springtime, and I think it's Yushan and Yushun. Good afternoon. I think it's about cleaning time. We clean our homes, we have spring cleaning, but we also have kind of a soul cleaning in springtime too, I think. And maybe eating cleaner, the spring greens, is a little bit about that too.
Especially it is the time of the spring and everything is so refreshing, and you can totally see the buds are growing out on the tree branches,
yes,
right?
The peach blossoms and cherry blossoms are already in bloom in many places. Today, it's very warm outside in Beijing, and during my lunch break, I went for a little walk, and I saw the gardeners out around the little parks and streets, and they're doing whatever it is that they're doing around the grass with the plants and stuff. It's just a nice time of year.
Yeah, and in fact, I just had what we call 咬春饭 for lunch. It's literally translated into the bite of spring, which means in one bowl you got the rice, but on top you have the green beans, the Chinese tune, the bamboo shoots, and everything that represents spring vegetable in one bowl. That's becoming one of the trendy hot sellers in a lot of the healthy meals that we have here in China too.
I think I had that last weekend.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't know the name of it, but I just saw the picture, and it was exactly what you just described. And the Chinese tune is something that I was not familiar with. That kind of, I don't know, it kind of looks like seaweed a little bit, but it doesn't grow in the ocean, and it's purple and green a little bit.
It's a type of twig from the chun trees. I don't even know how to translate the tree's name, but it's a type of twig.
Springtime is a time of increasing our vocabularies too, right? With all these new plants.
Yeah, and also across multiple channels, including chain supermarkets and instant retail markets, the variety of spring vegetables hitting the market this year has reached a peak in recent years. And also, spring greens typically refer to tender wild vegetables such as amaranth, shepherd's purse, and also spinach and other vegetables that you just mentioned, Yushan. And then eating these spring greens at the spring equinox is a widely observed folk tradition. Because,
really?
This is the one of the 24 solar terms, a spring equinox, and the fourth of these terms in the Chinese traditional calendar. So this year was the 20th of March, and it marks the midpoint of spring when day and night are equal in length.
And also, it's more or less believed by many that this is the time when spring officially arrives onto the land.
I didn't know that there was a bit of tradition or history with the spring greens in China, though. But it sounds like there is.
There is.
Yeah, so at this time of year, it's something that everybody eats. Now, when I eat lunch, where I eat lunch, why am I explaining it like it's a mystery? At the canteen that we have at our company.
You know where I eat lunch?
Like it's there's often, almost every day these days, I've seen the scrambled eggs mixed with, and I'm thinking it might be cartoons
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Is that what it is? I didn't know what it was before, but I eat it almost every single day. It's really healthy looking.
Yes, it's a very traditional dish too. I've had memories of families, household cooking it, and even canteens cooking it. But I used not to like it when I was a kid. And you grow up, you start to get used to the flavor because it's got its own flavor that's really hard to describe.
Bitter.
But yeah, bitter if you're not totally boiled. But we'll get down to that too later on.
A little bit of recipe coming up, coming our way. Then you've got the wild mountain greens. We talked about it on Roundtable many times, I think, about how foraging has become quite popular here in the country. What are some of the things that people are foraging for? Mint, I think, is on that list.
Yeah, it's called fish mint or fish.
Not exactly the type of
roots.
mint that you thinking.
Yeah, it's not
because-
leafy. It's a kind of root, particularly known in southwest China, especially in Guizhou province. Last year, I made a video dedicated to fish mints to introduce it to people who've never tasted it before. But it's called fish mint for a good reason because it tastes like seafood. It's a root, but it tastes like seafood.
Not exactly seafood, I would say.
Bad seafood?
Bad seafood, rotten seafood. You know,
You're
that type of
you're not
smell.
selling it very well. Wait, so fish mint is neither a fish nor mint. It's a root that grows in the ground that tastes pretty bad, by your explanation.
Yes, and just like stinky tofu, you know, people love them. People hate them.
I tried stinky tofu at one of the hutongs, and I was expecting to have to plug my nose and fight my way through that. I didn't think it was that bad at all. As a matter of fact, I quite enjoyed it.
Or maybe another example is durian. I think that explains more.
Now I understand.
Awesome. So fish mint is one big example, and then there's fern, and also newly popular item like deer ear leek. I looked online just to get an image of that. So it's a green leaf, but the shape of the leaf looks like deer's ear. So it's like very long and evenly distributed, kind of a type of leek. And also in Sichuan, in southwest China, they're literally using drones to carry bags of freshly picked snow bud vegetables and fish mint down 1,500-meter high mountains so that they can reach dinner table while they're still having the dew on the leaves.
wow.
You know, we're having the dirt on the roots.
So they're these vegetables those particular vegetables are growing really high up in the mountain range, and they're using drones. So the farmers are up there picking them, I guess.
Right.
And then the drones carry them back down. Gosh, that would have taken farmers, I guess, hours and hours to do that. Now it can be done in minutes and minutes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that's actually one of the very popular places that people are picking these wild mountain greens. And also in Yunnan area, as we mentioned, some of these are like typically famous. And during this season, not only these greens, also mushrooms are also very popular in that area. And people would just specifically go to Yunnan to just have a taste of these mushrooms.
I think we'll get to a little bit later on some of the dangers of doing your own foraging
yes.
if you're not
Right.
educated. But for now, let's stick with the edibles, the edible stuff. The flowers are the edible variety of plants too that everybody loves, and I had it a few times, and it was the first time I learned that Yunnan is famous for flowers.
Yeah.
Because there's a really delicious sushi place that's not far from here. I think, Yushan, you've been there before as well.
Yes.
And one of the things that I ordered was Yunnan flower something sushi. And it's so pretty. It comes out, it's this singular piece of sushi, and it's decorated with all these little beautiful flowers that are indeed edible.
Yeah, and Yunnan is one part of China that's very much known for having flour on the dining table. And then this is according to Yunhui Supermarkets, one of the major supermarket chains here in China, according to their data, showing that in southern China, cucumber flowers and fresh chrysanthemums are also the most popular locally. Then in western China, eating flour as eating habits are at the most widespread, and also with the largest variety of flowers sold in their local market. While in northern China, in our market here up in north, the number of customers trying cucumber flowers is showing significant growth, meaning that we don't really have the habit or not as wild spread as other parts of China. But yeah, now we also have edible roses, jasmine, pomelo flowers, even pumpkin flowers. You see, I've never heard of.
What's a pumpkin flower?
Just like cucumber flower. Yeah, that's how they.
Do you know that, or are you just saying that so we can move on?
I've seen pumpkin flowers.
You answered that way too quickly.
Of what color? Or I know cucumber flowers are yellow.
Yes,
Right.
mostly they're yellow. And actually, I've tried that chrysanthemum flower, and because me and my friends, we were also having that spring season hot pot kind of thing,
right.
and we bought these spring vegetables.
So the flowers go in the hot pot together?
Yeah.
You can, but we tried it with some salad, and then you just mix it with that sauce. It's a little bit bitter, but with the sauce, it tastes, I think it's quite good.
Yeah, there's something endearing, though, about that bitter flavor, though. It tastes so healthy and good for you that it's easy to eat. Now, typically when we talk about fruits that are in season, for example, sometimes the price can get a little bit more expensive because the demand is so high. But that's not the case with these spring greens. The prices are actually falling quite quickly.
Yeah, reports from major supermarkets like Yonghui and Hema, they show that prices for staples like Chinese tun, xiangchun have dropped actually by about 30% to 36% comparing with this time last year. And also the spring bamboo shoots have also been seen a price drop of up to 76% in some markets. So I looked up the potential reason of why there's been a price drop. So a person in charge of spring vegetable procurement at Hema introduced that it is there are two reasons. First of all, there's the favorable weather conditions. I'm quoting from his speech, but in southern China's Yunnan this year, where a lot of the spring vegetables they grow, see a bountiful harvest of this time regarding Chinese tun and all the other varieties. And then another reason is that they've enhanced or rather expanded the upstream cultivation up north. So it's not only grown in just particular areas that's traditionally known for harvesting these vegetables.
Right, yeah. And that happens sometimes, right? Different regions of China are famous for different fruits or vegetables or what have you, and then they get shipped to other parts of the country. And if you're shipping it far away, then you're going to have to pay more when it gets there. But now it's these types of things are growing in many different spots, which means that's good for us when we take our trips to the supermarket.
Right.
And again, the drone, I mean, this has to have an impact too, I would think. The drones, we kind of skipped over that, but this is a really important point because they're not just... The drones aren't just taking like a handful of vegetables down to the bottom of the mountain. They're taking tons and tons and tons.
Because some of them can actually carry loads of like boxes of these greeneries in the mountain. And in the high altitude mountains of Sichuan, drones are now being used as these flying porters to carry 150 kilograms loads of wild greens like shoots, bamboo shoots, and tun shoots, and shepherd's purse, everything, and down a mountain in just 2 minutes. And that trip that used to take farmers hours to hike.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned before. I mean, that would have taken, and the whole process would have taken weeks perhaps. But now with logistics running the way they are, it can go from the mountain to a supermarket probably in the same day.
And that's why some of these greens can only be like popular within a very specific area before, and now maybe even like people nationwide can have a taste of them.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why people are getting so fond of eating these springtime veggies? Is because before they used to be very region specific, but now anybody can get them anywhere, and it's kind of a fun kind of almost luxurious type of thing.
The way I see it is that before we have our own local delicacy when it comes to spring vegetables, and we love it for a reason.
What would be an example of that?
Like, for example, Chinese tune. It's not only known in the south, but also widely grown in northern China too. And it only grows at the early, or rather the starting point of spring, making it the dish to go to at this very limited time of the year. That's one major attraction of these type of vegetables. They don't serve you all year round. They kind of do now, but it tastes less. They taste the best in the springtime. So that's one big selling point.
And bamboo shoot was not that popular like before, right, here in the northern part, because I remember, still because where I grow is in southern China, and it was quite expensive when I was a child,
right?
But still, it was a kind of spring delicacy, and it is the time that you have to eat bamboo shoot, and I kind of like that feeling of, okay, it's finally spring and I can finally have bamboo shoot. But in Beijing or in northern China, I don't think it is a very common dish.
We don't have a lot of spring bamboo shoots. We have the winter bamboo shoots, which is bigger in size but less juicy and more crunchy.
Okay.
Almost like cucumber. We grow that quite a lot. I think I remember having that very often. But spring bamboo shoots, no. As you can see, like, pandas love bamboo, and a lot of bamboo is grown in southwest China for a good reason, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any connection to TCM here? There's been a health trend in terms of people wanting to eat better. TCM finding its way into beverages. I have no idea if TCM is connected to these springtime vegetables or not, but is there a connection there?
I think rather saying it's TCM, it's more of just a Chinese tradition of following the season and eating and drinking alongside the natural rhythm of the seasons. We take what is offered by the nature, and that is something that's believed in TCM too. We trace the food and the medicine from the same roots, so we eat following the season, following the natural way, and that's the best for our health.
I've heard about this before because restaurants will often do that, right? They'll use seasonal vegetables
as a selling point.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know there was a connection to TCM, that TCM also follows the seasons too with its remedies. That's new information for me.
Because seasons have an influence on our body's condition and health status too. So,
and then there's that shift to lighter and cleaner eating, and also the aesthetic value. I think these vegetables look very pretty.
Yeah,
they're very social media friendly, right? When you get your bowl of tunes and deer
flowers,
fish mint or whatever it was called.
And during this season, you can always have a table with so many colorful dishes.
Exactly.
Because yellow, green, orange, red, even pink.
Very pretty indeed. All right, now let's make sure people don't poison themselves when they go to the mountains. What do you do to protect yourself during this delicious spring season?
Let's get back to what I mentioned earlier. You kind of have to boil a lot of these spring vegetables to get rid of the chemicals inside. I'm not going to name all of the chemicals one by one, but just know that boiling will kind of help to remove these chemicals, and it also make it really tender and fresher right after boiling. And usually it only takes about 1 to 2 minutes. For example, we mentioned Chinese tune. And Chinese tune, you mentioned earlier, Steve, it looks purplish and almost seaweed colored. But after boiling, it turns into fresh, very light and beautiful green color. That will even add the appreciation to the looking of the dish after it's cooked.
So blanch your vegetables for a minute or two in boiling water. Okay. Also, don't trust your eyes if you are out picking vegetables. That's because of the lookalikes, yeah?
Yes, and also I would say if you're not a professional, just don't trust yourself.
That's good. That's good advice in many different aspects of life.
buy these bamboo shoots, buy these vegetables, buy these flowers or edible flowers from the supermarket. And then, of course, the supermarkets will be responsible for everything that they're buying from them and you're going to eat. And that is why when you're going to mountains, you cannot actually identify which one are the edible ones and which one, because sometimes they can really look alike.
Yeah, they can look extremely similar to one another. So one that might look really healthy because it is if you're getting the right thing, but it's not. It's a totally different plant, and it can end up being poisonous for you.
Yeah, and also for people who haven't really had the chance of trying it annually or trying it very often, we do recommend that you try with smaller portions and see if your digestion work well with these springtime vegetables, because they're really good in nutrient and also rich in fiber. So sometimes it might irritate your digestion system.
It can be a little high, pardon me, in coarse fiber, which, for some people that's great, but for other people that might feel like sandpaper if you have a really sensitive stomach, right?
Yeah.
So, smaller serving sizes is a good idea too. And if you do, just as a last point, if you do find yourself in real trouble, what's the tip there?
First of all, stop eating immediately and try to induce vomiting. If you're awake and it's been less than 4 to 6 hours, by drinking warm water and tickling the back of your throat, I know it is going to be really
unbearingly.
Yeah, but you still, that is the fastest way that you can do. And also head to the hospital right away and bring a sample of the vegetable that you were eating. And this helps doctors to figure out exactly what the toxin is so they can treat you properly.
Or just don't do it at all. That's probably
People
the safe.
just cannot resist
I
it.
would, but I wouldn't trust myself. I honestly would not trust myself to pick some plants from the wild, take it home, and cook it, thinking that I could be safe. So always, be on the side of caution. That's the safest thing to do. But yes, it is a delicious time of year. Those spring greens that you see in the vegetable sections of your supermarkets, indulge because they're seasonal and they're also very affordable this time of year. And you can be a little bit creative with the dishes that you create as well. Enjoy and eat up.